Hello everyone, welcome to Any Recap. Today anime title is down below in the description. Three criminals attempt to blackmail Park Moo-jin, a politician of the Korean National Assembly. While the three criminals are relaxing, the sky changes color and wind begins to pick up. In an instance, the three criminals were crushed by supernatural means that flattens the island they are standing on. Jin Mori, a 17-year-old martial artist, is late for the preliminary tournament while chasing a purse thief on a motorbike and catches him by teaming up with 17-year-old swordswoman Yoo Mira and 17-year-old martial artist Han Daewi. At the tournament, it is explained fighters can use any martial art, bare fist or weapons. The fighters are injected with nano machines to monitor their vitals and heal injuries so they can fight harder. The announcer declares the fights will not be paired duels, but a mass brawl. Many fighters are defeated easily, until the moment the commissioners decides to send in convicted criminal Kong Man-sok, a super strong martial artist who fights only with his feet due to his wrists being handcuffed. He begins to attack the other fighters and easily defeat them. Until Mira step in and attack him, he humiliates Mira by stealing her bakken and taunt her. At this moment Mori was able to sneak behind him and pulled down his pant. Man-sok lift his leg and kick Mori. During this kick Mori was able to move fast enough to avoid injury and even damage one of Man-sok's ankles. Park Moo-jin infiltrates the Pentagon to see the president. It is revealed Mori never got to duel Man-sok and everyone is sitting around getting their injuries treated. The three fighters are shown walking home together and Mori explains he entered the tournament for a rematch with the commissioner who scouted him. Daewi wants money to pay for his friend Woo Sung-tae's medical bills and Mira seeks a suitable husband so she can save her family's sword style by passing it to her children. Mori accidentally drops her bakken into the river so he and Daewi help her find it as it was a gift from her late father. At the next fight Mori, Mira and Daewi make it through their matches. Man-sok fights Go Gamdo with the use of one of his arm. It is shown that Go Gamdo is a Tai Chi user. Man-sok reveals he uses northern-style taekwondo designed for battlefield combat that allows moves such as eye gouging and groin strikes. Man-sok beats Gamdo and demands he beg for mercy. Disgusted, Mori kicks Man-sok to save Gamdo. The commissioners try to intervene to stop Mori from fighting Man-sok but are overwhelmed by Man-sok's rage at being humiliated. Despite this, Mori easily renders Man-sok unconscious, only to find himself restrained by Moo-jin's unexplained powers. Moo-jin orders Mori be punished for interfering in a match. Mori faces disqualification until Moo-jin recognizes Mori's grandfather, Jin Tae-jin. The fight between Ma and Mira start, but during the fight Mira lost her bakken. But Mira reveals her family martial art includes swordless style, which can slice flesh using only fingers. Mori is told he can remain if he beats one of the commissioners, though not the commissioner Mori wants. That night Mori eats a peach Moo-jin gave him and immediately vomits blood as it was not a normal peach. Daewi's friend Sung-tae switches to a more expensive medication so Daewi becomes even more determined. He duels Baek Sung-chul who fights with a baseball bat. Despite painful damage to his organs Daewi destroys his bat and knocks Sung-chul unconscious. Mori awakens and only just makes it to his fight. He is told he will win if he can push the commissioner to the floor. Then when the commissioner mocks him, to the commissioner's surprise Mori easily pushes him down. Mori is amazed his body feels more powerful, but the commissioner is so angry he activates a supernatural power and summons a clown-like spirit to kill Mori, only stopping after being restrained by his fellow commissioners. Moo-jin happily confirms Mori as Tae-jin's tiger cub, and swears to take possession of him. Mira is approached by Seongjin, a martial artist and businessman who asks her to marry him, promising he can make her sword style world famous. Mira withdraws from the tournament, angering Mori who criticizes her for treating marriage like a business arrangement and becomes convinced Seongjin has an ulterior motive. Mori decides to infiltrate the wedding. Seongjin has a flashback revealing he is a cult member ordered to marry Mira to obtain her moonlight sword style, believed to be capable of defeating God. Mori infiltrates the wedding with Daewi's help and tries to convince Mira alongside her uncle and cousin. Mira is convinced not to waste the effort she already put into saving her sword style herself and cancels the wedding. Enraged, Seongjin admits he only wanted Mira's moonlight sword and summons a samurai spirit to kill them, attacking Mira and wounding her only to be beaten by Mira with one strike, managing to escape with Mira's bakken. Mira is unconcerned and decides to re-enter the tournament without it. Later, Sungtae deteriorates and Daewi snaps and assaults several bullies who routinely harass him at work. During his match against Mira, Daewi wins by savagely beating the swordless Mira by continuously hitting her previous wound till she was unconscious. Daewi walks past Mori, promising to defeat Mori in the finals. Mori defeats his next opponent and will face Daewi in the finals. In hospital, Mira urges Mori to fight Daewi for the right reasons, not for revenge. As their match begins, Daewi and Mori are evenly skilled and Mujin watches, hoping Mori will awaken. Mori knocks Daewi down and tries to show him mercy by extending his hand out to Daewi instead of taking revenge, but Daewi takes advantage, claiming he was never really their friend and unleashes a devastating attack. By chance, Mira stumbles across Sungtae's room in hospital and finds his family in mourning as he had already died. Daewi and Mori match intensify with each unleashing a devastating attack, but Mori decided to hold back and is knocked down by Daewi. But as the referee begins the countdown, Mujin, who had promised to cure Sungtae if Daewi won, informs Daewi Sungtae is dead, hoping to unbalance him. Daewi flashes back through his entire friendship with Sungtae and decides to lose the match by not fighting back and taking all the assaults from Mori. Mira arrives and interrupts the match with a goodbye letter Sungtae wrote to Daewi. With renewed determination, Daewi rejoins the fight, rediscovering his friendship with Mori, and both fighters gave it their all, matching blows for blows. Mori deals a final blow, a powerful kick to a happy Daewi, winning the match. Mujin comments that he seems to have found two tiger cubs. As the three friends leave the ring together, several other fighters watch them with interest. Mori's missing grandfather, Jin Taejin, refuses to join a mysterious cult, so they summon their god to destroy him. Mori is now Seoul's regional champion and can compete in the national tournament with a team of the regional's strongest three fighters. Mira defeats her next opponent, making her the third fighter. Mujin and the commissioners looking through resumes of fighters and hopes that one fighter from nationals will awaken as the key. The commissioners worry over a group called Nox interfering, so Mujin summons the six, including his elderly former instructor, Na Bongchim, who attacks Mujin just to find out it's only a clone. At this moment, Jin is seen standing in front of a big crater that he created with a kick, at which the cult leader summons a giant sword down on Jin. While shopping, Mira meets the tournament's announcer, Sim Bongsa, with his family and realizes Bongsa is actually blind. He advises her to channel her feelings into her sword to find the true strength of Moon Lightstyle, revealing it was Moon Lightstyle that blinded him. As Bongsa leaves, he is approached by a Nox assassin, Priest Drake MacDonald. Daewi demands Mujin tell him about the powers behind the tournament, so Mujin tells him about Charyuk, fighters who borrow power from gods, demons, even historical heroes, and Mujin wants to find the strongest. The remaining members of the six receive their summons and start to move. Daewi tells Mori and Mira about Charyuk, though this only makes Mori more excited about fighting strong opponents. As the national tournament begins, it is revealed that Drake not only killed Bongsa, but also seemingly Commissioner Q. At nationals, Mori and his friends face the North Chung regional champions. Mori uses Bongchim's acupuncture techniques for strength, but accidentally paralyses himself and loses to Na Gidong. Na Bongchim, the old man who taught Mori acupuncture techniques, was furious. Drake brags to Q about killing Bongsa and his wife and baby. Q, who had a sword embedded in his body, recovers and activates his Charyuk, the scythe-wielding Joker playing card, and cuts Drake's arms off. Daewi faces Jin Pumkwang, an unintelligent but hard-working man who wants to help children who struggle in school. Pumkwang uses his Charyuk, Laborer, to summon a giant hammer, but Daewi knocks Pumkwang unconscious. Q cuts off Drake's other arms. Drake recovers by using his Charyuk, Caterpillar, to reattach his arms. But before Drake could finish, Q attacks and almost kills Drake, but is stopped by two Nox assassins, Priest Saturn and Axley Ivanovich. Commissioner O arrives to assist Q in combat the Nox. As the two sides are fight, they bring out their Charyuk. Meanwhile, Mira faces fellow swordswoman Jang Jongmi, a kendo practitioner whom she defeats, winning the match for their team. Outmatched by O and Q, Saturn and Axley flee while Drake sets off an explosion from his own body that destroys the top of the building. Mujin determines that a traitor must have told Nox Q's home address. The severed arm of Jin Taejin is discovered, suggesting he was defeated and captured. The next team matches begin and Jegal Taek starts his match using his Charyuk, Megalodon, to brutally bite and rip his opponent. Daewi intervenes in the match but fails to stop Taek from claiming a sadistically violent victory. The South Jeolla team enter the semifinals after the victory of Park Ilpyo using the ancient martial art Taekian and his Charyuk, Nine Tails Guardian. Mori saw the tiger on Ilpyo's jacket and it is the same as Taejin's military uniform and he became suspicious. Later Mujin shows Mori the scene where his grandfather Jin was attacked at and explained that there are people after Jin and by the look of the blood that he might not survive. Mori replied to Mujin that if he knew his grandfather he would be more worried about the other party. Mori is approached by Ilpyo who explains after his father died and his mother abandoned him Taejin gave him a Taekian training manual written by Ilpyo's deceased grandfather, inspiring him. Taek attempts to assassinate Ilpyo, almost killing Mori, but Ilpyo saves Mori. Daewi and Mira receive anonymous messages informing them it is Mori's birthday and rush to celebrate with him, cheering him up. They decide to win the tournament together then duel each other to decide who is strongest. Mori receives a map and a photograph of Taejin imprisoned, missing his arm but still alive. With Daewi suspended for having interfered in Taek's match they will automatically lose unless Mira and Mori both win, except Mori is missing. Mira begins her duel against Lee Marin who reveals he has Mira's stolen Bakken, explaining he unlocked the full power of Moonlight style where Mira failed and transforms her Bakken into the sword function. Mira attacks Marin with a wooden sword. Marin counter with the Bakken and shatter Mira wooden sword. The fight continue and the Bakken transformed. Mira retrieves function, only for it to return to Marin, having recognized him as its true owner. Mori follows the map to Taejin, realizing too late he is a fake which explodes. The bomber, Fei Long, reveals he is killing weaker fighters like Mori to locate the key faster and that he uses the Charyuk doppelganger to create clones. Meanwhile during the fight Marin stabs Mira, declaring her too weak to wield the power to kill God. Mori is overwhelmed by the clones until Long reveals Marin and his team are dead and replaced by Nox cultists disguised using doppelganger. Mira refuses to give up and has a flash of divine inspiration, granting her the Charyuk Lu Bu function and true ownership of the Fengshen sword. Marin attempts to use his Charyuk, Kraken, but is defeated. Mori suddenly appears and faces the second Nox imposter, with flashbacks suggesting he killed Long to avenge the real Marin. He then defeats the second Nox imposters with a series of kicks. Bongchim admits Mori has grown from Taejin's tiger cub into a true tiger. Long is revealed to be alive, until Taek arrives, having gotten all the information he needed from Long. He then murders Long, declaring he will claim the key. Mujin tells Mori he is too weak to help Taejin, but if he wins the tournament he will give him some valuable information. Meanwhile Daewi is fighting against Park Sunga. Daewi wins his semifinal match against Ilpyo's teammate Park Sunga. Mujin confronts Sang Mandiok, a high-ranking Nox cultist, who infiltrated the arena, only for Mandiok to summon his god. Mori struggles against Ilpyo, who points out his every weakness, only for Mori to begin overcoming his weaknesses by copying the fighting styles of both Mira and Daewi. One of the six, Seo Hanryang, attacks the god with his 108 national treasure weapons to protect the arena. After a lengthy battle the god is defeated and the arena saved. Meanwhile Mori and Ilpyo fought each other with all their strength, but Mori defeats Ilpyo, who remembers the promise he made to Taejin that he would help Mori grow as a fighter if he ever had the chance. Ilpyo suddenly receives divine inspiration from his Charyuk, Nine Tails Guardian, and awakens a new power. Mandiok happily declares the key has finally awoken. Thousands of years ago the nine-tailed guardian was betrayed by God and, after destroying half of heaven, fled to earth and swore revenge. The fight between Mori and Ilpyo rages on. The two fighters exchange fists. The whole ring is engulfed with fire from the nine-tail. At this moment we get a glimpse into Mori's past and see a figure holding a staff standing in front of many giant figures. To everyone's surprise, Mori was able to dispel the cyclone of fire around the ring. The ring is covered in fog and Mori is extruding what seems to be lightning around him. Seeing Mori reach out his hand, Ilpyo initiate his attack, sending a barrage of firefox at Mori. But Mori easily dispel all of the firefox. Mori created a cyclone of wind and lightning and send it towards Ilpyo, catching him and sending him into the air. While Ilpyo is suspended in the air, a giant hand appears and smash down on Ilpyo and render him unable to continue, and leaving Mori the winner of the match. Daewi and Mira ask Mori if he unlocked a charyuk, but Mori is unsure. Mori visits Ilpyo in hospital and explains about Jin Taejin still being missing. Elsewhere in the hospital, Jaeon Jugok, who lost his charyuk, mage, after being defeated by Taek, gains a new charyuk from Mandiok, greed, that allows him to absorb other people to increase his strength. He attacks Taek only for Taek to bite him in half with Megalodon and kill him. Everyone Jugok absorbed is expelled, including Ilpyo's teammates, who Ilpyo is horrified to see both had limbs bitten off by Megalodon. Furious that Taek once more injured people he cares about, Ilpyo attacks Taek. Meanwhile, Mandiok opens his god's summoning portal once more, allowing an army of creatures to appear. With the key located and the creatures approaching, Mujin declares the God of High School tournament officially over. Taek and Ilpyo continues to fight. Both fighters went through a transformation. In the meantime, all the commissioners are fighting the entity from the other world. Mujin is using his charyuk to hold back what seems to be a golden Buddha. The fight between Jegal Taek and Park Ilpyo continues, with Taek revealing his true form to gain an upper hand. He consumes Ilpyo and releases the key from within him. In a moment of frenzy upon the appearance of the key, members of the Six, servants of the god, and Jin Mori clamor to seize the key, with Mori emerging with it in his possession. The United States is made aware of the situation and fires nuclear missiles on Seoul in an attempt to subdue the old god, with complete disregard to the hundreds of thousands of lives to be lost as a result of this decision. In order to protect the fighters, Park Mujin teleports them away to a spirit realm. With the missiles near and the citizens of Seoul stampeding to find shelter, Jaeon Jason too teleports all of the people of Seoul to a cliffside outside of Seoul, from which they witness the destruction of the god at the hand of Jason and his transmutation magic. In a bright flash, Mori and the other fighters are transported back to Seoul, where they see the body of the dead god. In the final moments, the key is stolen and consumed by Taek, and all bear witness to his ascension. After consuming the key, Taek transcends his mortal body and becomes a god. He begins to ambush Jin Mori and his friends, threatening to consume everything in his way. Mori's memory is triggered and he remembers his true identity. He is actually the great god's son, Wukong the Monkey King. Despite not remembering many details of his life before becoming immortal, he jumps into action and summons his Ruyi Jingu staff to fight Taek. The Monkey King overpowered Taek. Mori manages to get in several punches, and even drops constant lightning strikes using his power to summon nimbus clouds. This enrages Taek and transforms him into a monster-like appearance. Mori's friends join in the fight and finish Taek for good. Ilpyo grabs Taek's hand, but is rejected by Taek as he fades away with the key. Kim Eungnyo, founder of the Six, is awoken from her cave slumber and congratulates the group for completing the tournament and offers them a chance to have one wish granted. Mori initially wants to wish for his grandfather, but remembers Ilpyo's friends are missing limbs and unselfishly wishes for them to be healed. Eungnyo heals Ilpyo's friends by restoring their lost limbs. Eungnyo tells Mori that his grandfather is still alive, and he finally loses consciousness as a result of the battle. He wakes up 3 months later, and Daewi and Mira inform him they must travel to the Monkey King's origin place to recover his memories as a god. This video ends here. If you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification button so you won't miss our video update.